Hey guys, Cloaked here. So, going to be doing a cast of a Balcora Cup 2 series today. This series is going to be between Fear+Letsrock versus Xenofix and Houston. So, a little bit different format. This might be the first game where I've casted it as an observer. Usually it's just me playing first person, so hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so we're into the first game here. This is going to be on Fallen Lords. This was the map pick from Fear+Letsrock. The second game will be on Soarin' Badlands as picked by the other team.
Destroy
And
enemy
the third map, if we
motherships.
get there, will be on Cougar Belt. So this is a best of 3 series in the Balcora Cup. And I believe this is round 2 for these players here. I think Fear and Letsrock had a bye in the first round, and I believe Xenofix and Houston beat their opponents in the first round. So not going to be casting the whole Balcora Cup, but might be doing a couple series here and there.
Unidentified probe detected.
So a research module on Houston's carrier. Interesting placement. Usually you want to get that on your mothership, so it doesn't take up one of the slots on your carrier. And it looks like a research ship is coming out for Fear. Should be sliding out of his mothership there.
Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected.
This is a cakewalk. No problem.
And it looks like Xenofix is going to lose his scout here.
We got him napping. This is a cakewalk.
Unidentified probe detected.
And he does. So taking a blow early on, it's not something you want to lose. I think that might be the only eyes and ears for the red team as well. I don't see... oh, they do have a probe. Alright. So they've got a probe on Fear on the right side of the map there. Letsrock expanding out to his third patch, as well as Houston doing the same here. It looks like fighters from Houston. And Fear's got the fighter facility as well. And now it looks like Fear is expanding out to take his third. So early frags from Xenofix. He's got 2 frigate facilities. Capital facility from Letsrock. And Xenofix might lose another scout here. Well, he's sending a interceptor squadron to try to chase him off. Going a little deep though. I don't know if I'd want to send that in versus so many interceptors from Fear. And he's not docking it either. I wonder if that was a mistake by Xenofix. Gets a good probe off though, sees everything that Letsrock is doing. Alright, and we've got a kill there from Fear. So, a couple of early losses, don't want to let them stack up too much. So we have that Torp coming out, but it looks like Fear has bombers to defend against it. So not going to last too long. Already at half health. Yeah, so Fear just got the swarm superiority right now. Houston's sending some interceptors in from the side to help out, but he's only got 3 there. And Fear are already on assault frigates.
Unidentified probe detected.
Looks like Letsrock will be getting some corvettes in the back there. And you can see the carrier explosion. It's got 3 carriers now. 1 on fighters, 1 on corvettes, and the third one, we'll see what he does. Houston doing the same over here. But he's got 2 fighter facilities and 1 that just popped out with nothing on it. So Xenofix spitting out a couple interceptors to try to help out his teammate push back that fighter. That refinery's getting pretty low, it's at half health already. So Fear sending out 3 assault frigates and 1 support frigate. Now, I think there's a magic number where a couple of those can one-shot a collector, but not sure what that magic number is.
Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected.
Alright, so driving out the collectors here from the mothership patch. And Xenofix pops out a second carrier. Not a good timing for this. You know, he's got fighters all over him, frigates all over him. Had that been, you know, maybe a quicker destroyer, maybe be able to push back this attack here. Man, those frigates are just going to town. And I take that back about the magic number of frigates. They just shoot a lot of small bullets quickly, so the more the better. They're going to kill collectors even quicker. So Fear's on ion cannon frigates now, and you can see Letsrock has some laser corvettes mixed in with some missile corvettes. Got a grav well from Fear, just protecting them from any hyperspace action. Looks like a hyperspace inhibitor went up on Letsrock's left carrier there. So Xenofix really in a tough spot here. I think he's not mining hardly at all right now. Just doing a little bit of long distance mining at the moment. So it looks like a destroyer was at the bottom of the screen from the red team. Should help push out those frigates finally. And you can see Fear popped out a second carrier. So you can see he's moved his carrier back to his original spawn location and he's pushing his mothership towards the middle. Man, those assault frigates still over there on Xenofix's patches. And you can see Xenofix is trying to mine from Houston's third patch. So they're both sharing that, where you see about 10 collectors in the middle of the screen. Dire situation for the red team right now. Letsrock is sending in a couple corvettes for a attack on those collectors. Looks like his mothership's sitting a little bit far from that patch over there. So the red team's cranking out a few lance fighters to drive back those corvettes. So you can see Fear has a Vaygr refinery that was built by Letsrock and then transferred to Fear. So you know, when a player transfers the refinery to you, you are able to use it, even though Fear is a different race here. And a carrier going down for Xenofix. Alright, some destroyers popping out from Xenofix up there. You can see Fear's got every facility possible on his mothership right now. And Fear's starting to mine from the middle of the map here with his mothership. Yeah, so Fear leaves a repair corvette there by his carrier and collectors. Just kind of defensively, if anything starts attacking the collectors, it can heal them up and slow down any counterattacks. So the red team does have 3 destroyers here, but this carrier is getting low. And really, the red team's been hanging on by a thread with, looks like they're only mining on 4 patches total. And I think the yellow team's on about 7 or 8 total. So you see a drone frigate there from Fear. That's an anti-fighter ship, and really going to town on the fighters from the red team. And Fear's pumped out some light corvettes as well to counter all those interceptors on the red team. Lots of corvettes from the yellow team though, and I don't really see an answer to that. I think there's a few Lance fighters on the field and maybe a torp or 2, but probably not enough to kill this fleet of corvettes. Now look at that, Letsrock is sending some corvettes around to attack the patch in the back. It's a good move. And Xenofix rebuilds his carrier that went down. Looks like Houston's doing the same thing, he's popping out another carrier. So one thing you can do, I'm not sure if these guys are doing it, but you can set up rally points for your production ships, so they just rally to the front lines and you don't have to move them every time they're finished being built. So usually what I'll do is I'll take all my carriers and select a rally point of my mothership. So everything built goes towards my mothership, and typically my mothership's close to the front lines and is in the action. You can see Letsrock was pushing his flagship forward. And I'm not sure where that missile corvette's going. Might have been a misclick there. So Xenofix expanded out to that patch on the upper left there.
Unidentified probe detected.
But you can see Houston lost his third. As the enemy fleet is sitting right on top of that patch. So good attack here from the yellow team, trying to take out some collectors, really deny that harvesting. It looks like Houston's switching to frigates. He's been pumping out a lot of heavy missile frigates, and tough thing to do when your opponent's on lasers, so I suspect those lasers have really been doing a number on the red team. And we've got a infiltrator frigate coming out. It's a capture unit, so looks like he's going to try to capture one of those destroyers over there. Oh, look at that, we got a cloak generator from Fear. Like to see that used in the game. So the infiltrator frigate is going to latch on, but that destroyer is at pretty close to full health, so it's going to take a long time to capture. You know, destroyers capture about 4 times as quickly once they're at half health or lower. So in a fight like this, really not a good chance. Yep, only got up to about a third of the way needed to capture it. And usually what we want to do is damage the destroyer around halfway, and then save up about 3 infiltrator frigates and send them all in at once, and you'll have a good shot at capturing it. So I've got a couple collectors repairing this destroyer here. A good move at the time. Destroyer was pretty low on health, so keep it out of the fight, heal it up, and once it's yellow or better, send it back in. So a lot of ions from Fear here. Even got some bombers going in. But Houston, he's trying to rally as many heavy missile frigates as he can. He's got a couple infiltrators as well. But Fear's got a ton of heavy corvettes now. And really, Swarm has been completely won by the yellow team at this point in the game. So Fear does manage to pick off that destroyer before it can be healed. So Xeno's going to send his collectors to heal the next one. So, let's see. Oh, and a good game is called. So that's it. Fear and Let's Rock take game 1. Oh wow, and a shipyard even popped out from Let's Rock at the middle there. Surprised they never took that back right patch though. Alright, so Houston with a lot of kills. Harvesting really went to Fear and Let's Rock though. 90k versus only 45 from Xenofix and 76 from Houston. And you can see some transferring went on. It looks like Houston was trying to help out Xeno with some money. Alright, so that was game 1. We'll get into game 2 shortly here. Alright, so this is game 2 of the series. Fear+Letsrock versus Xenofix and Houston.
Destroy enemy motherships.
And it looks like Fear got a cushion again out of the random spawn.
Unidentified probe detected.
And hopefully Xenofix doesn't lose his scout this game. It's always a rough blow, like what happened last time. And very interesting, I'm not sure why Houston gets his research module on his carrier. Usually you want to get that on your mothership. On your carrier you only have 2 slots for modules, and on your mothership you've got far more. So can limit the options down the road.
Unidentified probe detected.
And it looks like Letsrock's carrier is hung up on his mothership here. So usually what you want to do is move your carrier out and around before you even tell your mothership to give a move order. Otherwise they can get jammed up sometimes.
Unidentified probe detected.
Now, this is a nice defensive probe from both players on the yellow side. You can really see when your opponent's scouting in. And next to your mothership, usually they're pretty safe.
Unidentified probe
Although with
detected.
2 scouts over here, they could potentially try to kill one of these probes. Capital facility from Xenofix. Carrier finally got going over here. And it looks like he's taking a quick third. Interesting. Yeah, probe wasn't going to last too long. I don't even think it's in a dust cloud here. Nope. Alright, fighters from Houston on his mothership. And fighters from Xenofix on his carrier. Looks like fighters from Fear as well.
Cakewalk. No problem.
And looks like Fear is going for a third here. This is a forward third, so I assume they're going to be a little aggressive. And Houston, on the other hand, is going for this far outside patch, which is interesting. He's not even taking his back patch. Wonder if he's going to give that up to Xenofix here. Must say, I actually kind of like this expansion over trying to take these two. But lots of options on this map. Alright, capital facilities from both players now. And Fear is going to chase these scouts out.
Cakewalk.
Oh, it looks like Xenofix is going to lose another scout. Does a little dance. Oh, he might just bring this one home. Now in this situation, when I keep moving it past your mothership, use your mothership guns to fire this guy down. Because when you try to dock here, this is very risky. Alright, well it gets it in. Alright. So Fear's taking that third. Dropped a refinery. So you can transfer a refinery from Vaygr or Hig to a Homeworld 1 player, and they do work once you transfer them. Now if Letsrock just sent this refinery over here and did not transfer it to Fear, Fear would not be able to harvest with it. No real benefit from doing that, other than I think this might be like 100 RU cheaper. But it does clog up one of Vaygr's only 2 production facilities for a while, instead of just using up one of the 4 for Homeworld 1. Alright, and going into frigates here from Fear. And he's got 2 research modules this game. He only had 1 last time, so I wonder if he's trying to tech up faster. Carrier from both of the red players. Looks like a hyperspace inhibitor. So in a position like this, usually you want to put this on evasive so it can speed away a little quicker. Oh, and he goes back in. That's not long for this world.
Unidentified probe detected.
And looks like Fear's going to try to get a carrier, potentially again. Letsrock is moving forward. Left a carrier behind and 2 refineries and pushing out with the rest. Interesting. It's passing a few refineries to Fear. And harvesting wise, that is going to harvest just the same as a Homeworld 1 refinery, so there's no real harvesting advantage there. Oh nice, so Fear does have a probe way back here. Not sure if they see that. Yeah, they don't have a probe in their base, so I don't think they noticed that. Frigates again from Xenofix. It looks like Fear hyperspace some assault frigs in. He might have walked those over, but he might have hyperspaced them in. There is a gravity well here, but that's not going to cover jumping from here to there. Good thing it looks like Houston's got a destroyer popping up, which should be able to drive these out of here. Alright, laser corvettes and missile corvettes from Let's Rock. And there's that carrier from Fear. Oh, interesting. So Fear went over to take this patch, only to find Houston's over here already. So they're going to be sharing that for a while until somebody can clean it up. Looks like the red team's got a big advantage here. But Fear does have a grav if he wants to turn that on.
Unidentified probe detected.
It's looking a lot better for the red team this game. Look at this, they got some torps coming on. They might want to hold those back behind the destroyer though. If they lose those, lasers could start going to town. Destroyer out, more torps. That probe's really going to help out the red team. I think they caught those corvettes moving in. And Fear does like to get this repair corvette that just sits here and heals up any collectors that are taking damage, which is a nice move. Lost his grab to the destroyer. So this is risky. He's leaving just a mobile refinery that can get popped by these lasers pretty quickly. And Fear's in for a hurting here though. 2 destroyers on his patch. I'm not seeing much that's going to save him anytime soon here. Got a lot of torps in reserve. You can tell Fear's really going after those torps, which is going to be key here. But Houston's already on missile corvettes. That might just completely shut him down here. Alright, good laser, drove that patch out. Looks like that laser corvette just went down. The mobile refinery is still up, so no good on that attack. Alright, so Fear is going to be driven off his expansion here, but he still has one back here and another patch on the far left.
Detected.
So if I were Fear, I would be trying to stockpile my units back here. Just abandon this position and build up as much as you can. And it looks like he's doing just that, moving these frigs out of there.
Unidentified probe detected. Oh wow, I'm getting a shipyard over here from Xenofix. That little attack's gonna get cleaned up pretty easily. Definitely ran too close to this mothership. Coming on over here would have been a little bit more of a sneak attack on the carrier. Oh wow, he even lost this patch over here. I'm not sure. I must have missed that. Yeah, I would have definitely kept those over there. Not sure if anything poked in, but it's got a long ways to move those. I mean, he's going to have to rotate them all the way over here if he wants to find an open patch. Not looking good for the yellow team this game. Alright, they do have a destroyer out now, and plenty of ions. Look at this, targeting down those torps, getting rid of them. Alright, but they've got 4 destroyers inbound. I wonder if Fear's going to try to tech up to destroyers or anything bigger this game. Or even mine layers would be helpful right here. Just plop some mine layers down. Eat away at these destroyers. So this was an overextension here by the yellow team. It's going to get gobbled up. Alright, 2 destroyers, plenty of ions. Look at this, I don't think Xenofix, not sure why he moved it over this way. I'm thinking maybe he thought, yeah, I don't know. Ooh, a sneaky side torpedo. And a shipyard from Houston too. I don't have anything over here, shipyard wise, from the yellow team. It's still just sitting idle. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to swing them around yet. Alright, destroyers from Fear this game. He has taken up. I like the support frags healing the Vaygr destroyers. What are we going for here? And these torpedo frags just cleaning these corvettes up. So one thing the yellow team could do is get a couple drone frigates back here, just to play defensively versus all these fighters. Or even some, let's see. Yeah, Vaygr's not on frigates, so. No assault frigates from Vaygr here. But we do have a fire control tower, which should help out. That gives around a 5 or 7% accuracy and damage bonus to your units. Just gonna help out in this battle. Alright, looks like Fear transferred these frigs to Letsrock, but they're not in the battle. Now, this is a key battle right here too. These support frigs need to move over here and heal up that destroyer. Sorry, I'm trying to go up and over. Alright, another destroyer out here for the yellow team. So there's been a long time where Fear is just on 2 patches, and I think this one is... I'm not sure what happened here, but he doesn't have many collectors on this patch. This might be a mistake actually from Fear. Looks like he's moving his carrier back to take over. That destroyer goes down finally.
And I wonder if Fear wants to send this destroyer over here just to remove this patch. Or just get it back in the fight and send a couple corvettes over to handle it. Alright, healing up that destroyer. Ooh. This expansion's getting fired down, but they're attacking a collector that's being repaired, so it's not doing them any good. So I wonder if they're going to be building cruisers out of these shipyards? Because the yellow team really doesn't have anything to deal with cruisers right now. Man, a couple support frigates here would be so helpful. We got 3 destroyers in the deep yellow. Heal those right back up, and yellow team could potentially turn the tide here. And also, while those collectors were idle here, I'm surprised I didn't try to harvest on this patch. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 collectors on a patch that could support, let's see, 1, 2, 3 on this rock alone, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can put a max of 11 collectors on this patch. And that whole time when Fear was on 2 patches, probably could have been getting a lot more RU out of this. Now granted, that's maximum, you know, efficient on this patch is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can put 7 on this patch efficiently. And I think I said 11 maximum. Alright, so we got a lot of destroyers for the yellow team. Hoping they can try to heal some of those up before any go down. Looks like they might lose this one pretty quick though. Just been on their back foot the whole time this game though. Nice, looks like they're gonna kill that one. And the destroyers are a bit split. You want to try to get them a little bit more together so you can target fire one at a time. You can see we're fighting kind of a left front as well as a right front.
Detected.
So you can see Fio's trying to stabilize the swarm. He's getting some assault frigates, some multi-gun corvettes. Assault frigates being anti-corvette, and the multi-gun being very efficient anti-fighters. So we did lose 1 destroyer over here, but we still have 6 of them. And these ones are completely out of the fight, so we have a chance to try to kill something on the left here. Ah, another destroyer goes down. Support frigates are so valuable right now when you can heal up these damaged destroyers.
And Fear's lost some collectors, so I'm thinking he's only harvesting from maybe 16 total right now, which is a little less than you want. And same thing for Letsrock, they're really just both on about 16 collectors, 3 patches each. Whereas the red team, I believe, is going to be interesting. The red team doesn't have that many collectors either. And realistically, ooh, they just lost their cap facility? Not sure what happened there. But realistically, the red team has more production chips than they have money, from what I'm seeing. And very odd to see another carrier come out. I wonder, just don't feel like he can support this with only 3 patches here. But we are getting a little bit later into the game, 26 minutes. Some of these patches are going to start running dry. So if we look at one of the original patches from Letsrock, getting a little low on RU. So we'll check back again around 30 minutes. Red team's still dominating with this swarm here. Kept this alive the whole game. Alright, great. We got some repair corvettes in action here. And missile destroyer from Fear, not bad. Can really help out since they're at a swarm disadvantage. This destroyer is getting a little out of place there. Oh, I like this. We've needed this for a while. Send some lasers around and just clean up these patches back here. This is great. This is a fantastic move. Oh, cruiser out though. That is not good for the yellow team. Alright, looks like we're back to ions from Fear here. Fortunately, a lot of those repair corvettes look like they have been killed. Nice. So, this one's chasing the wrong way, but if he could go and kill that second one, that would be huge. Alright, it does turn it. Not sure if it turns it in time though. Looks like he's going for Xenofixes. Could even split these, have one go left, one go right. Yeah, this is not good though. Cruisers are the counter destroyers, and you can see they get sunk very quickly. Alright, looks like he popped another refinery over here. I don't think he's going to have enough time to pop this one. Nope. But good move, taking out 2 patches back here.
So he's just been making frigates out of this shipyard, interesting. Probably all he could afford over here. And while Houston doesn't have any fighter facilities left, so he's just been dock healing these fighters for a long time, keeping them alive. Looks like we haven't targeted this at all yet. Still pretty full on health, and the mothership of course blocks the ions from the destroyer here. Oh, I didn't realize I actually got this guy pretty low. That would have been a huge blow to lose. And he cloaks his mothership to keep it alive. Oh wow, Fear on 2 missile destroyers. Really just a consequence of losing the swarm for most of this game. Fear's been trying to play in the back foot, recovering from that early swarm loss. And you can see he's still trying to be anti-fighter and corvette, while the red team is just pressing their advantage, tucking up to cruisers and amassing destroyers. Alright, so we've stabilized back here. We have a new refinery, and a carrier has come back to help harvest. Oh, and a second new refinery. I'm not sure what this collector is doing over here, just long distance mining. You can see Xenofix is maxed out on 5 destroyers. And he's got a second cruiser out now. Just coming back to defend against this sneak attack. And this is a good defense. Just have a marine or two in the back to take care of any lone destroyer. Alright, so 1-1. A lot of kills from Houston. Look at that, a lot of losses from Letsrock. Consequence of losing that swarm. Yeah, so only 18 harvesters over here. And everybody was really just sticking around 3 patches that game. There are less patches on this map, though, Storm Badlands. So it's harder to macro up and get a full 22 collectors and 4 resource patches. Alright, so we're loaded into game 3 here, and we're tied up 1-1. So Fear spawned as Titan this time.
Enemy motherships.
So look at this. Fear moves his carrier before even trying to move his mothership. This is so the two of them don't conflict. If you give an order to the mothership too soon, they're both often get in a traffic jam. So that's great. Looks like Letsrock moved his carrier cleanly this time.
Unidentified probe detected.
Again with that research module on the carrier. Now really the only time you want to do that is if you're rushing destroyer. You get a captive facility on your mothership, and then you pop out a research module on your carrier, and it's a little bit quicker than trying to get them both on your mothership.
Unidentified probe detected.
Look at these scouts from Fear. That's great. Sees everything that's going on here. I don't think they can see back to the Vaygr player, but I think he wants to keep him hidden in those dust clouds so his opponent doesn't see him.
Unidentified probe detected.
He does have a probe here, but he hasn't moved it into the cloud, so I'm thinking that scout's invisible to him.
Unidentified probe.
Alright, and see how you want to move your tied-in mothership underneath your patch so the collectors can just come down in, drop off, and get right back up. Same thing with the carrier. You want them below the patch for the tied-in race. Oh, but Fear loses a probe here. Looks like he just kamikazed into that probe. That's one way to kill it quick. And hopefully he gets out before he loses these.
No problem. This is a cakewalk.
Research module from Fear? Research ship,
Unidentified
rather?
probe detected.
Capital facility from Xenofix. And a fighter facility from Houston. I'm not sure if this is going to survive if he tries to dock it already. Oh, barely gets it in. Wow. And even takes out a scout from Fear, not bad. Alright, getting some interceptors over here. Taking a third patch. Looks like Letsrock transferred a refinery to Fear again.
Unidentified probe detected.
Carrier from Xenofix. I think this is quite a bit earlier than the last couple of games.
Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected.
Lose that scout.
Unidentified probe detected.
This is a cakewalk. No problem.
And double fighters this time from Xenofix. Oh, and he's going to lose that scout squad. It's too bad. And Fear is going to get right out of there. Good move. Alright, going up to frigates again for Fear, and a carrier for Let's Rock. So no speed upgrade from Vaygr yet. Still on the slow interceptors, or assault craft. Yeah, so as an observer, I cannot chat. Just here to watch. Looks like Fear is going to lose a scout here. And Houston's going to be wondering the whole game. But he was just lagging, of course. So pretty good scout off here. Sees the carrier explosion from Let's Rock. Interesting, 2 fighter facilities this time. Doesn't want to lose that swarm like he did last time. He's going to try to pump out a lot of interceptors. Alright, Fear is expanding to his 4th patch. Already has 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th. And no speed upgrade for Xenofix either. You can tell they're playing pretty passively this game. Not looking to be aggressive. Capital facility, it looks like he'll be getting a carrier out again. So 6 collectors over here, and let's see how many patches. I think 4. It's not too bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is very efficient right there. So it looks like 4 patches and again 6 collectors, so not too bad.
Oh, that's strange. So Fear went way back here, and Letsrock is taking this one. I think Fear does not want to lose a patch, so this one's a little more at risk. Let Letsrock be down on income if a side attack comes in here. Alright, 6 on this one as well. So let's see, 6. Alright, so Fear is definitely maxed out on 22 collectors right now. And we do have a probe coming in from Houston. Oh, this is a little dangerous. Sending in these slow interceptors all the way forward. He needs to get that speed upgrade. I wonder if he forgot about it. Oh, this is... Haha, he's not going to be able to run home. And Houston is way back there. This could be a bad attack from the red team. Man, this is, well, I get to probe at least, but... Oh wow, does this probe just slip through? Ha! What luck. Look at that. 5% health left. Gets a good probe all the way through the base. So let's see what we got over here. Fighters, probably destroyer, more fighters and frigs. Houston is on double fighters and possibly destroyers back there.
Unidentified probe detected.
Alright, we got a destroyer out from Letsrock. Looks like he switched over to corvettes on his forward carrier. Still double fighters back here. I would think now that he's about max, he'd want to switch one to corvettes. Oh, that's terrible for Fear. Holy shit. Oh wow, that is terrible Fear. I mean, I'd say if I was a red team, I wouldn't mind doing a rematch at this point. Nobody's attacked yet. Wish Fear would have called that out maybe 3 minutes ago, but maybe he couldn't click to even get into chat. Who knows? I think the red team's just going to play it out. Technical difficulties from Fear. That's most unfortunate. I wonder if his batteries just went out there. What a time to lose your mouse batteries. I will say, before I started this tournament, I actually had a mouse that was a bit worn out, so I just set it aside, put some new batteries in a brand new mouse, and that's what I'm using for this tournament. So, unfortunate here for Fear to lose his mouse for a few minutes. And now they finally agree for a rematch. Alright, no harm, no foul. Nobody's really lost anything right now. Alright, so we have it in chat here. The red team has agreed to a restart. Alright, we will be replaying this game. Alright, so game 3, we're tied up 1-1. We actually had to restart this last match because Fear's mouse died. So the red team was nice enough to let them restart the game.
Destroy enemy motherships.
But nothing too much had really happened. It was early in the game still. There's that early research module on his carrier again from Houston. Yeah, usually the one time you want to do this is if you're rushing destroyer. You can get a cap facility on your flagship and a research module on your carrier and get a very fast destroyer. But otherwise, usually I recommend getting on your flagship. Alright, so Fear's got some scouts in the dust cloud here. Those are going to go undetected for a while.
Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected. Unidentified probe detected.
Cap facility from Xenofix. Looks like he should escape here. Alright. So now Fear might lose a couple scouts to these mothership guns. It's a risk you take going in close to the mothership.
Unidentified probe detected.
Look at that. Back out, full strength. That's Doc healing for you. And you can see Fear is tied in this game. He was playing random, so he landed on this race. Last two games he was Kashan. Looks like one of the scouts got killed here by Xenofix. And these scouts, I don't think they can see much. They're just hanging out to eventually come back in when Fear needs to get some intel.
Unidentified probe detected.
Alright. Letsrock passed a mobile refinery to Fear again. Looks like you got 2 research ships. Looks like Xenofix is going for his 3rd. Cap facility from Houston again, and a much earlier carrier from Xenofix. Alright, there you see that frigate module appearing 5 minutes in. In Homeworld 1, they don't actually have modules. You can't kill that, but this is just an indicator that Fear has researched frigates. If you've got a multi-monitor setup like myself, I've got 3 monitors here, just a little trick, you can press Control F11 twice, and that will either bind or unbind your mouse. So right now I can just go between my 3 screens, and now I've got it bound so I can pan the map. Alright, so carrier, it looks like 2 carriers are going to be on fighters, and this one does not have a module yet. I expect corvettes, if anything like the last couple games.
Unidentified probe detected.
So we've got the speed upgrade from Houston. Fear losing a scout there. Double fighters from Houston. And we've got a hyperspace inhibitor here from Xenofix. Both players opting for 3 research, three resource patches.
Unidentified probe detected.
It looks like Fear is on 3, taking his 4th, and Letsrock is already on 4. So, yellow team really macroing up.
No problem.
Unidentified probe detected.
And you see that capital research has been completed. So Fear are likely going to be getting a carrier out in the next few minutes. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 research ships. I wonder if Fear is teching up to, either destroyers or even cruisers with that many research ships. Now that's a lot. Usually the most I ever get is 3 as Homeworld 1. Not utilizing this carrier yet. Looks like he got a hyperspace inhibitor. That's a strange place to put it all the way in the back. That would help verse... Actually, not a whole lot. That's pretty much going to cover this area, but you could just hype here, here, here. So I'm surprised he didn't get that on his flagship instead, since he's moving it forward. I like this though. He's using his carriers to harvest on these 3 patches. Is Vaygr, your best harvesting ship is your carrier. It has a very quick drop off compared to the mobile refineries, which are a little bit slower, and your flagship, which is the slowest ship in the game as far as resource drop off. It just takes forever. Alright, so harvesting wise, there's 4 rocks over here, and looks like Fear has 5 resource collectors. That's pretty efficient. Over here, 1, 2, 3 is optimal on that rock. 4, 5, 6, and he's got looks like 6. So very efficient harvesting here. And there's that carrier popping out. All right, so we got some action up front. Looks like Letsrock might have accidentally had those interceptors too far out there. He might lose another one here. This Lance Fighter Squadron's getting way too far out. Some minor mistakes here from the yellow team, not too big of a deal this early on.
Unidentified probe detected.
Probably gonna take out that probe next. Oh, and Xenofix might lose a fighter here. I wonder if he didn't have that on his control group. So, sending a pro high from the red team. It's actually quite high on the map. And we got a destroyer coming out from Xenofix. Interesting that Houston pushed his carriers forward but left his mothership way back here. Usually you want to push that out so you can get your destroyers closer to the front of the field. Oh wow. Huh. Just hit that scout way at the back of the map. That probe's pretty high, but I think you might be able to see some of these two patches here. And a quick shipyard from Xenofix. Not the quickest, but you can tell he's not rushing for that. You're just getting it early this game compared to the last. Now, how is the yellow team going to respond to that? Because if you just sit here and crank out destroyers and they get a cruiser, you're just feeding them ships. I mean, the cruiser's point is to counter the destroyers. So I wonder if Fear sitting here on 4 patches is going to try to tech up 2 cruisers by chance? Because we definitely don't see any shipyards from Let's-Rock. You can see he's going for that fire control tower on his mothership again, which is good, so considering it's right here at the front. Going to be involved in a lot of the fights. But he does not have enough money for that destroyer upgrade, so only sitting here at 90k health, going up against 126. Fear losing a couple of intercept. Oh shit. Not sure either side wanted to do this engagement. Looks like Xenofix is going to be on the losing end of this though. Yeah, big time. Houston is coming to support, but it might be a little bit too late. That was a rough engagement. And they're going to pull out. So only lost a couple of squads there. Not the end of the world. Look at this, 3 destroyers rolling in from the red team. Fear does have his own destroyer. Oh, missile destroyer. It's not going to be too useful. That's anti-corvette, and we only have a couple corvettes out from the red team. So he really wants to make sure he controls Swarm this game, though. So I like these support frigates though. This is going to really help out. Oh, but he needs that upgrade. Look at this. He's still at 90k health. And 2 destroyers versus 3 is not good right now. I wonder if Fear's kicking himself for getting a missile destroyer right now.
Unidentified probe detected.
So Lance is going to town on this missile corvette. And some lasers trying to work on that destroyer there. Gonna get pushed out by all these assaults. Alright, so Fear's going in for the attack. He's got lots of light corvettes. These are anti-fighter. It's going to help out quite a bit. Alright, now we do have that third destroyer up, and these support frigates have really done their job. You can see the red team's target firing them down, but they took half the health off that destroyer. And remember, this was 2 destroyers against 3, so support frigs really helped out there. Alright, now this missile destroyer is coming into play, using that missile burst ability. Helping out a little bit versus these interceptors. I hope Fear's stacking up to cruisers. I really do. For the yellow team's sake. Alright, so we've got a grab well out here on the left. So you can see Xenofix has switched over to torpedo frigates on his carriers. Houston is still going to be cranking out interceptors on his carriers though. Only 1 corvette module. Meanwhile, Let's Rock, same setup I believe, 2 on fighters and 1 on corvettes. Usually I'll actually go with the opposite. I'll do 1 fighter. Well, I might start off 2 fighters, sell 1, and then go 2 corvettes around this point in the game. My deck healing's usually good enough to keep most of them alive and don't need to rebuild too many. Alright, we got a shipyard this time from Let's Rock. I completely missed this. Look, it's got a cap facility on it already. So good move here. You don't want to let your opponent sit on a shipyard and not have one for too long. Unless you've really got a advantage pressing with frigs. Alright, Houston, looking a little defensive, moving these carriers back here. You can tell he's not trying to get a shipyard, he does not have any hyperspace modules. Alright, first cruiser out from Xenofix.
Unidentified probe detected.
So this is not a good engagement for the red team. Look at this. They've got a handful of fighters just getting chewed up while most of the fighters are over here. And lasers are scary, but these are way over here. They're not doing anything right now. Alright, and there is that heavy cruiser. Look at that. Needs to get it in this fight quickly though. He might try to hyperspace? Nope, and hyperspace inhibitor is gonna shut that opportunity down. So if I was a yellow team, I might try to pick this one off and get the heck out of there. Just wait for your cruiser. Don't want to lose too many destroyers to that cruiser in the meantime. Alright, so not a bad move. He knew they were going to die, but sent them as far away as possible. Kept all these units out of the fight for a couple minutes. Now I hope Fear gets a few support frigates and just sends them down to this heavy cruiser. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got a couple more, at least one more destroyer on the red side. Now we're already losing a lot of health on this. Alright, here's the support frigates. That's a great move, and it looks like he's pulling that back. Now if yellow team can just rally all these destroyers, they're kinda all over the place here, and pick off a couple of these DBs. Maybe let the cruiser handle the left one, and yep, all the destroyers are gonna go after these destroyers pushing in on the right. And finally, all those units that were going after those lasers are finally getting back into this fight. And this guy's just been idle here. Ideally you want, I think you can put 4 or 6 on this cruiser. So, you might lose that cruiser because of it too. Missile destroyer a bit out of place here. Needs to be sitting back behind the front lines. Might get chewed up pretty quick. Nice, look at this laser corvette just coming through, cleaning out the refinery. Yeah, he could take out all of this harvesting if he just keeps pushing through. Now, defensively, Houston would want to get some Lance. Those are going to be the best counter to the lasers, or some missile corvettes, but it's a little bit hard to chase down lasers with missile corvettes, which go the same speed. So yellow team does have a destroyer advantage here. They just need to make sure they're using it well. Interesting. So Fear opts for a third carrier here. He is on 4 resource patches, so all to it. And it looks like a second cruiser out for both teams. So I suspect Xenofix was lagging a bit on RU. I think he's only got 3 patches. One of them just went down. But Fear's gotta watch it. His mothership is really getting low. And this is everything to a Homeworld 1 player. Hard to win the game without that. So you might want to take, just spam repair corvettes and support frigates and just heal up that ship. Alright, so the red team's changing their attention to the second cruiser down here. And really just all their destroyers from the red team are getting chewed up. Alright, we got a cruiser out from Let's Rock. can really just see the harvesting. Look at this. 4 patches for both players. And we're sitting on 3 patches for Houston and only 2 from Xenofix after his 3rd went down. Destroyers a bit forward from where they need to be, getting chewed up here by the red team. Ideally you want kind of a straight line or a concave when you're attacking. So quite a few laser corvettes over here.
Jamming begun at destination.
Surprised he hasn't tried to kill these back patches. And that does go down. Second cruiser out for Let's Rock. It looks like they got it. And there's GG is called. Well, a good series. Yellow team wins 2-1. A lot of kills from Xenofix, but not quite as much from Houston this game. Oh wow, so he had 22 collectors potentially, but only on 3 patches. So he was mining not quite as efficiently as the yellow team was. And just look at the harvesting totals. We've got 12, 127 for Fear, 115 for Let's Rock, and then only 100 or less for the red team. Alright, well, hope you guys enjoyed this cast.